Andrew, when you look at the concerns, right, surrounding what Draghi's legacy is, I mean, it kind of goes to the heart of the European problem, is that you have an ECB that can't actually fix or actually spur, the countries to do what they need, which is probably fiscal policy.
Yeah, I mean, the ECB is a European institution. It's one that can act effectively, and so all eyes tend to go to the ECB because the fiscal side is not coordinated, not well organised. I agree with Mohammed's point, not just because he's a friend and former colleague, but I think he's right that the current kind of noise says little about Draghi's legacy, which was the fact that he was able to stabilise the Eurozone. He said in an interview over the weekend that now there's need for coordinated fiscal policy. I mean, I think most economists would agree with that. The problem is the political dimension in Europe. So the new ECB chair is not a monetary policy expert, but somebody with great political experience.
Will she be able? Will Christine Lagarde be able to basically, I don't know if it's force, but convince countries that they need to spend fiscally?
I think the answer is probably no. I saw a reference, a broken note to waiting for Godot, and the discussion on German fiscal policy is a little bit like that play, if you've ever seen it. So I think this will be an ongoing wait. If it gets bad enough in terms of European recession, German recession, then you could have some fiscal response. But, all the signals are that Germany's very reluctant. And the other thing is other countries agreeing that Germany should do it is fine, but you need the Germans on board.
Well, very clearly, Andrew, you're expert on this. What is the mechanism to, quote unquote, force anybody within the European experiment to do anything fiscal? I'm not aware of a actual mechanism to persuade.
So there are mechanisms in terms of excessive fiscal action, excessive deficits, excessive debt. There's a question of whether they work or not. But persuading a country which has the fiscal room to use it is a very difficult one. And Mario Draghi said this in his interview at the weekend. There's a fundamental problem with the monetary union without fiscal union and/or at least effective fiscal coordination. Europe, these things tend to advance during periods of pain and crisis, not periods of relative stability. But you see Germany, even amid a German recession, great reluctance on the side of Germany to use fiscal policy, and also constitutional protections put in place in the last few years to try and prevent active fiscal policy.